Hey guys, we're back out here working on the barge project. Today we're doing some more trailer work. We got the trailer pulled out. It's a whopping 30 degrees outside today, so you gotta get while the getting's good. Here we are, you can see, got her up on the driveway. I pulled all the lights off. We went and checked all the lighting. Not very much of the lights were working, so I just decided, start fresh. We're gonna put LEDs in it and new wiring and everything. So we ended up, I just cut off the old lights, and you can see where the old ones are mounted, and we're gonna just drill in new ones. I got all LED kit here, so we'll wire that up, get those going. The trailer did have a nice breaker box up here, so all the wiring taps into that breakers, and then where those wires are sticking out, that's actually where the harness went for the plug, or your socket for plugs into your truck. So we're gonna run through that today, put the lighting, hopefully knock this out pretty quickly, and I'll kind of show you how I'm doing it as I go here. All right. Okay, so here's one of the back. This will be a back just kind of marker lamp. It's red. Here you can see it's got the power wire LED. It is polarity sensitive, so you can't, if you go, your power to negative, it's not going to light up. So you got to just be careful with that. But here's my ground wire, and they wanted them both coming out and tapped out, but most trailers, they just use the frame as the ground. So I'm put these connectors on there, and then I'm going to use a mounting bolt to ground it through the trailer frame. And then in case you're troubleshooting something, you only got your power wire, and then just make sure your ground's good and you'll be okay. So I'll show you here how I'm gonna mount it. Okay, so this is how I'm doing it. I'm just kind of holding it up there, putting my mark for the wire to pass through, size it up, put your holes for your screws, for your mounting screws, and then you're going to want to put a little dab of silicone or RTV or something on where the wire passes through, and that will just keep the wire from rubbing and wearing through into the frame. And since that's your power wire, you don't want to ground that, otherwise your light won't work and you'll pop your breaker or melt your wire or whatever you got. So that's kind of how we're doing it. So just get your mounting screws put in. You got one there, and then this one is going to act kind of as my ground. It grounds my wire there with that connector, and I got the wire running in through the frame, which you can kind of see the old wiring there and the new red wire, and that's it for the mounting. So just make sure it's solid. Don't forget your little dab RTV silicone in there. Pop your lens on, and away you go. On to the next. Alright, so as you can see, you got all the lights mounted. Starting on the front passenger side, you got markers going down, another marker, decided I think I'm just going to leave the flush mount, that's the brake lights, leave those in there because they do work. So we'll just wire those in, maybe replace them with LEDs eventually here, but they are working for now. So the next step is to just wire all these puppies in. Okay, so I'm in the trailer frame here. I just took the lid here off the breaker panel, and you can see I got these breakers, and then the wires, those tails I'll have to put to a plug. And so here's my cheat sheet. Blue is brakes, green is the right stop and turn signals, yellow is left stop and turn signals, and brown is the tail light slash running lights, marker lights, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna start taking those off and running all my new wiring here. So here we go. Okay, so now we're doing the tail lights. Got to get those wired in, and as you can see here, there's the old harness. I'm going to just tap into the light pod there. Here's my turn signals, side markers. They had a cover plate that covered that all up, but what they did was screwed the deck boards down, so some of those bolts there, or screws rather, were pinching those plates, so I had to cut them if I could. Or here you can see how many I had to drill out. Quite a pain, but well, we finally got it. So back to wiring. Okay, so here's the main harness that kind of goes into the 7-way pin. I made this up last night. I'm gonna put like a split loom or some type of protective tubing on it. It's just temporarily I kind of put it on there just so I could do my testing and everything, make sure everything worked. Just had to run in there. I'm gonna run it through the bottom, and it'll be all protected and everything into the breaker panel. Same thing with my wiring. The rest of it's gonna probably be split loomed and then attached to the frame rail so that it doesn't rub on anything. Keeps the wiring nice. Got the brakes wired in. Same thing with the wiring. They got to be put up into a good spot. And you can see the back. Got that all wired in. Brake lights, turn signals, marker lamps. Those are got to all be tucked away, and it's just kind of temporarily run so I could get my lengths and everything correct, and that way I can come back and put the split loom over it, secure it to the trailer nice so it doesn't rub, chafe on anything, cause any damage. I found these kind of neat connectors. I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but it pinches over that wire, and then you run a spade connector right into it. So, and then it just snaps in. So kind of a neat connector. I'm sure it's gonna be a candidate for water intrusion and corrosion and everything. So I think over each one of these I'm gonna do liquid electrical tape. Just kind of scab those over and make sure they're not gonna have any water sitting in them. But that should help for that.
You